Hey guys, Kristian here, and we're going to do another Scratch programming dissection, game dissection for my Scratch class yet again, and for anyone else out there who is interested in learning Scratch. Yes, so we did Pong, and last time we did a really basic dissection of Clash of Clans. Today we're going to do Tron Lightcycle. This will actually be more of a complete game, but it should be quicker. So let's just jump into this. So we've got our Tron Lightcycle game. You probably have seen Tron, maybe. We're not going to make it 3D and awesome like they have on that. We're going to do something more like this game. Now, that's actually a fun game. So we're going to do something more like that, or more like this, or more like this. So yes, cool stuff. Okay, so to set that up, we've got our stage. And we want it to be nice and dark. I'm going to do really dark blue. I'm going to go even darker than that. I'm going to go blue, dark, and bam. Okay, so really dark blue, almost black. Convert to vector, and I wish I could just input a grid. Huh. Hold on. They might have one. Circles, sky, moon, neon tunnel, grid. That's not the grid I want though. Raise Dolly. Okay. Yeah. I think we'll just stick with this. We don't need a grid. We'll just have it dark. Okay, so that'll be the backdrop, the stage. Now our cat is not going to be a cat. We are going to instead, excuse me, make it a dot. So this will be, we're going to have a red player. I'm going to stay in bitmap this time. Okay, the red player, that's the pretty good size. Okay. And the red, and how am I going to do this? Okay, so it's going to have the lighter front, and I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, yes. This will be red player. And we do want its direction to go in all possible ways, but instead of that, we actually just want it to go up, down, left, and right. We don't want it to actually turn. Okay, so when clicked, so we want it to move around with our arrow keys. So we're going to get some if statements. If space, we're going to do up arrow, and then we're going to do point in direction and up. This says up is 0. We're going to duplicate and duplicate because we need four directions: up, down, left, right. So down arrow, down. Right arrow would be right, and left arrow would be left. So now when we run this, of course I had to explain that this is all wrong. So let me grab this and rotate it 90 degrees. And yes, like that. Okay, so the reason it being we have to do it like this is because this side on the right, that is actually the direction it is pointing. So whenever you make like an arrow or anything, always have it point this way. That way when you make the direction, it will point in the correct direction. So now I'm going to run this. I'm going to press the up arrow. Now it's pointing up, down, left, right. Cool. Put in move. Now it's always moving, and I just press the arrows to make sure it moves in the right direction. That's a little fast. I'll do move 5 steps. I also want it to go to a completely random position when we start the game. Minus 240, 240, that's on the X, minus 180, 180. Now the problem is you can go straight back and forth. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, cool. Now we need it to draw on the screen, so we're going to do pen. We want to clear at the very beginning of the game, and we want to do pen down. But we also want this one's color to be red, which is color 0. Don't ask me why. And there we go. Of course, we can move right over our own, but in the actual Tron game, you die on your own. Okay, that is a little... I mean, the lines are thin. I'm going to make it a little thicker, so I'm going to set the pen size to 2. That's a bit thicker. I like how that's looking. Okay, now for death. Okay, so I'm going to... Okay, so now we have this if color touching... Okay, so we have if touching color, which means if any part of this sprite is touching the said color here. We don't want that because he's making his own path, which is directly underneath him. We want this block right here, if color blank, and we're going to drag this and get that pale color, and you have to be patient to get your mouse over it, that if the pale color is touching the red color, then we want him to die. Because the pale color is the front of his vehicle. So then we want to... how are we going to do this? I guess we'll do broadcast. We're going to broadcast, we're going to have 2 colors. We're going to have red and blue, so I'm going to say blue wins. And then we're going to make a new sprite and convert to vector, and then we'll say blue wins. And we're going to make it pale blue so it shows up. We're going to center it. And then I'll call this win message. And of course we want it to go to 0, 0 like always. Or not always, but you know. Go to 0, 0. When I receive blue wins. Switch to, okay, we're going to have 2 costumes. Blue wins and red wins. And under red wins, we want to go to say red wins, of course. And we're going to do that pale color. Okay. Oops, I did clean up. I meant to duplicate. When we receive new message, red wins. Switch to costume, red wins. When blue wins, switch to costume, blue wins. We're going to show it at the beginning because we're going to hide it at the beginning so that way nobody can see this until someone wins. And then forever, we're going to do this kind of bounce effect where it gets bigger and then smaller. Change size by 10, change size by -10. Just duplicate this over here. Okay, so it's hidden when I die. Oh, blue wins. Oh, because it's okay. Yeah. So we want to make this script stop as well, but not all. So we're going to stop this script. So that way when we hit our own track, we stop and it says blue wins. Now that's much bigger than I wanted it to, so at the beginning we need to set size to 100%. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, that didn't work. I think we need to make the line a little bit thicker. Yeah. That's still pretty big, isn't it? Oh, 606. That, no wonder. That's what I say. 100. Really, I'm going through myself. Okay. So that's good. But this is not. I am going to get that pale color and make it that size. I think that should fix things. Just so it doesn't move so fast it gets out of its boundary. Really? Really? Okay, well, it works for the most part. For some reason, I can always go through it from the left, but not up. I can do it from the left and down, but not right now. Okay, that is so confusing. Why would it do that? Maybe if I put this at the top. Whoops, I went backwards. Okay. Okay, no, I am so confused. I'm going to extend this out and make it like that. Okay, I think we've foolproofed it. There we go. Now it will always hit itself. So the sensor was what I'm calling it, is the pale part was too small, so that sometimes it would actually go through the track that it was making. Okay, so we made that. One problem you'll notice is when I'm going up, I can press back, I can go down. So if I'm pressing up, I don't want to be able to go down. So a simple way to fix that is put these in if else. So if pressing up, go up, and then we'll just put this down inside of it. That way, if we're pressing both buttons, it won't change anything. Actually, this might have some problems, but I'll explain that. Okay, so now we've got the right, and we'll put the right in there. And we'll just drag that and test that out. Okay. So I could press, oh, yeah. So we're just going to have to go ahead and I'll show you the way that I originally thought we might have to do. So I'm going to put it exactly back how we had it before, which is like this. And we're going to add an and not. Okay, so if we're pressing up and we're not pressing down, and then we're just going to switch this. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. That's supposed to be up. I'm going to duplicate this a couple times and then just throw this down. So if we're pressing down and we're not pressing up, and then if we're pressing right and we're not pressing left, so everything just switches. So if it's left, then we don't want to be pressing right, and if it's right, we don't want to be pressing left, so this one should be right. Because if you're going this way, you don't want to turn around instantly and run back into your path. So if we're going left, we don't want to be pressing right at the same time. So this should... Let me explain that one more time. Yeah. Okay. We're not going to do the key press thing because you have to be pressing both at the same time. So forget that. What instead we need to do is direction. Okay, so if we're going up, no, if we're going down right now and we want to go up, we press the up button. But we're going down, so we'll just go on top of each other ourselves and die. That's not what we want. So if direction equals 180, which is right here, it says direction down is 180, we don't want to go up. If we're going sideways, we can go up. If we're going either left or right, we can go up, fine. But if we're going down, so this is direction down, we can't go up. So we want to make sure that we're not going in that direction. And again, we'll just copy this. Now, if we're already going up, we don't want to go down. So this will be 0. So we can press down and go down anytime. We can go left or right and press the down button and go down, because direction is not equal to 0. But when we go up, direction is 0. So we can't press down. Otherwise, we'll go on top of it ourselves. I hope this makes sense. Pretty much you just switch it. So for right, it will be left, and for left, it will be right. So now I'm pressing down. I'm going right, now I'm going left. So I can't go backwards on myself. So that's awesome. So now I'm just going to duplicate this player, and I'm going to make this the blue player. Go to the costumes. I'm gonna make this all blue. Oops. Actually, I'm just gonna use the fill because that's easier. And then do the light blue. And then switch this up a bit, get that light, whoops. Click on the color, get that light blue. Now, we want its pen color to be blue. I'm trying to think. Oh gosh. That's green. That's cyan. That's why I don't know why I just did pen color. Okay. I'm going to set it to the exact color here. I don't know why I didn't do that for red. Let's just go ahead and do that. It's not that hard. You just get the color of the body of it, and then bam. So now that one's making blue, that one's making red. Simple enough. But we don't want this blue one to be controlled by the arrow keys. We want it to be controlled by, we can do WASD. So up is W, down is S, right is D, and left is A. Okay, so now we've got that one's controlled separately, and this one's controlled separately. And the blue can go through his own, but only can hit red. So they can only die on red, which is a problem. And they both broadcast blue wins. So when blue dies, it needs to say red wins. But we also need it to die on its own color. So we're going to use an OR. So if its blue sensor is touching red or blue, it's blue track, because it can die. Whoops, it can die on either track. And we want to do the same thing for red player. So I'm gonna drag that down there, because we want, except we want the sensor color to be pink. Okay, so now we have two players. Red died on blue's track. Now let's try with blue winning or dying. Red wins. Cool. And that's how you make Tron Light Cycle. So you can, two players, one uses WASD to do blue, and the other one does arrow keys to do red. Simple enough. How long did that take? 19 minutes. I thought it was going to take shorter, but didn't. We analyzed it, we dissected Tron Light Cycle, and we're good to go. Tron Light Cycle dissection. Okay, so those are the 3 games that I have done, and I'll probably release them maybe all at once, I don't know, this week. And I also plan to do a more advanced topic, which is on scrolling. So yes, Scratch class, please pay attention to these. I hope you've learned something from it. And yeah, thank you all for watching. See you guys in the next one.